Alright, I think it's time to really stir up all the worms. Cheap shit is made in China. Third and fourth rate goods from China go to America, while first and second class goods go to Europe. Why is that? Because planned obsolescence is the marketing strategy. Now let's take the American corporate scumbag approach. You take an American company name with an American agenda, and then you fabricate things in China. Now, to be fair, it's not deception when people are plain outright ignorant. So using the American ignorance against them, companies fabricate things in China, use an American name, and then market it to Americans under the pretense that these Americans most assumably believe that these are American products. When in doubt, they are not. So now you have this corporate scumbag who produces knives in China, markets them to Americans, but has a U.S. patent. So the U.S. patent only holds that only they are allowed to sell said knife inside the borders of America, leaving themselves exposed to the Chinese to market it to the rest of the planet because they do not honor the patents that are in the U.S. unless they went and got an international patent, which is very difficult to have. So now we have a full-fledged dilemma. So now if you knowingly make shit in China and know that the Chinese will copy this, clone it, replicate it, whatever you want to use in your terminology, then you really should have known better. Now, I'd like to start pointing fingers all over the place, and I'd ask you to start pointing fingers all over the place, too. Does the problem lie with the corporate scumbag producing products in China under these pretenses to market into America, using their American name, using American ignorance as the foundation to market the product in America under the protective guidelines of the U.S. Patent Office? I'll leave it up to you, the consumer, to answer that question. So now, why do all these clones, copies, replicas, why do these all exist in America? Well, it's pretty simple. You make stuff in China, and they slip it out the back door, market it to the rest of the world, and sometimes it happens to rebound in America. And when it rebounded in America, somebody imported it into this country. So now, once again, I would like to ask the American consumer, who is responsible? The person that's selling this item, or was it ultimately the person who imported it into this country, knowing that it would violate the U.S. patent that the corporate American scumbag had to begin with? Now, it's time to educate everybody else in the knife community, sellers and buyers alike. What will happen to you if you sell clone copies that have U.S. patents from these corporate American scumbags? No matter how small the sale, you will wind up in a lawsuit. There are people that say, I deserve my problem. You are entitled to this opinion. And then they ask me how many I have sold on this so-called patent infringement of the Benchmate. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty. I sold 11 of them in 9 sales. That's it, folks. $200 worth of knives that I sold for a $70 profit. The cold-hearted facts is that selling $200 worth of products that are infringing will wind you in court with the great American corporate scumbag for a $200,000 lawsuit. Ouch, you might say. Where did I get those products? Poor Charlie at Dell's Deals. He got served as well due to dirty lawyer tactics. But ultimately, Dell's not alone. Benchmate did drop the charges against Charlie because, well, there wasn't anything that they were going to get out of the poor guy. So you'll drop the charges against Charlie, but you won't drop the charges against me because I bought him from Charlie and Charlie got him from somebody else that you don't know where exactly so far. But I get to indulge in a $200,000 lawsuit for $200 worth of products sold because, well, I give it up to you, the consumer. Is Benchmate the great American corporate scumbag knife company or what? Let's take a roving tour of how many other people still to this day are selling this piece of shit that's made in China. And hopefully this will show the American consumer how incompetent Benchmate as a company is. Now, I'm not an importer yet. Someday this might change, but as of yet, I am not. So I don't import these into the country, and so I am not the ultimate bad guy in this scheme from the great American corporate scumbag. So I ultimately buy products from other people who import them, or wholesale them. And I sometimes use their descriptions and their descriptive words. Now, I don't knowingly rip off patent designs. I would like to define patents to you. There are two types. One is a design patent, and you cannot patent functionality with a design patent. The design patent is strictly of the design and how something appears and looks, and these type of patents only last 7 years. The second form of patent is a utility patent, which does patent functionality, and these last 20 years. Not all knives have U.S. patents. Take Boker, for example. This is a German company, and they do not have U.S. patents. So if you don't have a patent, then it's free reign for the Chinese to run amok on you. But then again, when you even have a U.S. patent, it's free reign for the Chinese to run amok on you too. So since there are so many products to sell, it's impossible to know which have patents and which don't. So there are some infringing knives, such as the Ken Onion models, the SOG models, and when Kershaw or SOG contact people, they're pretty much gentlemen about it, and they say, these are patent infringing items. Can you please not sell them anymore, and would you mind telling us where you got them? This is how gentlemen behave in the industry. But then along came the American corporate scumbag Benchmade. They do not follow this philosophy. They just simply serve you and take you to court and sue you. So this is a warning to all you sellers who sell Benchmade products or ones that look like them. Do not do that, and avoid doing business with Benchmade altogether, because it's nothing but problems. Now I'd like to point out where I got my choice wording for the item that I sold that is in this so-called patent infringement. I took this information straight from one of the wholesalers themselves, as you can read it yourself. You won't be able to tell from this one from the real thing. Benchmade claims I willfully, maliciously, and deliberately sold these items, which I didn't. It was just due to the fact that I used what the wholesaler supplied. I sold 11 of them in 9 different sales, and once I was served by Benchmade, I pulled this product line and no longer sold it. So now it gets back to the question, are all these sellers the bad guys? Or is it the particular importer who supplied every single one of these people the item? See, I would think it would be in Benchmade's interest to figure out who imported it into the country and not who piss-anted around by selling 11 of them. But, you know, if you want to spend tens of thousands of dollars on a $200 problem, by all means, go ahead. I don't care, because you can waste your money. And then I'm just going to expose this problem to the general public to see what they think. I would like to ask the rest of the Americans who are not ignorant and who do have some kind of education, who really is at fault? Are you tired of having things made in China? Are you tired of losing jobs to China? Are you tired of having products that are made like shit and have planned obsolescence so that you have to buy them over and over and over again? Are you tired of American companies behaving this way? Then join the fight and boycott Benchmade.